Hey, in this particular lesson, I'm going to go over how to set up the blog in Doplac. So first we're going to go over here to our websites, which I was already at. I'm going to pick one of the sites here. We'll just pick this brand. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up a blog page. I call it Blog Master. You'll see why in just a second. I want my different blogs to show up here, and then of course you can scroll through these if you like. Now, how did I build this? The first thing I did was I went over here to components and I said put in a header and put in a footer, so this showed up and then this showed up. The second thing I did was I clicked this and I said add a section, and I just picked the wide one. Okay, delete that. Actually, let me just do that. Then, once I have the wide one, I just go up here to Elements. I go down here to Post Grid, and I drag it in. And you can see that it populates with the blogs. Okay? So that's how you build. Let me get rid of this here. That's how you build this right here. Now, there are some other tools on the left column. You can go in and say, well, I think I want 8, but because that's uneven, I prefer 6. Let's see here. I want the image to show in full. I want the title, the category, the excerpt, and I want 15 words in the excerpt. I want it to say read more right here. Be nice if we could change that color. We can set up queries, and you can set up pagination. I don't use that, so I think this is the pagination here. But queries, I don't think I use. Let's see, post all dates, order randomly, and then my author. Yeah, so I just keep it very generic. All right, so that would be your first step. I'm gonna back out of this. That would be your first step, is to create the blog master. The second step is you're going to see a page in your website called Dynamic Pages. You hit edit. It'll be empty. There'll just be a block here that's empty. And what you do is, if I remember right, it seems like you have to have at least one thing in here before you can access these components. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So let's skip this for just a moment. So I would bring in a title right here, and I would drag it in. I think when you first get this, it has a blank, or it has one that's just generic. And I think you can do a couple things to modify it. Let's just assume for a minute that this is already there and this is already there. You can hit this plus button and say add a section. And now you get these choices between the type of layout that you want. I believe this one here is this right here. So I would select that. Then I would bring in my content. So I go up here, I say content, I drag it into here, and see how it automatically populates with one of your blogs. And then over here, I would say, I would pick one of my ads. So I would go here, I would select this. See, that's a little bit small. I might have picked the wider one to get my images a little, or my ads a little bit bigger. I'm pretty sure that's what I did, this one right here. All right, so you got a sense of that. All right, so then once I have my image, excuse me, I can, okay, this is a template, so this is a placeholder until I actually go into my blog. In fact, I don't even think you need this, to be honest with you. I think when you go into the blog, it'll be available for you to just drag an image into here, which will be your ad, basically. All right, so let me get rid of this here, because I already have it in mind. Let's see here. Yeah. All right, so here's what it looks like once I've populated the ads. And these ads will show up on every single page. So just be aware of that. And then the next thing, all of these things you see here, those are coming from directly from the blog. And then at the bottom, after I place my footer, and again, you go over here to components and you choose what you want here. What I do is I have a summary, a little biography of me, so they know who I am. And you can set that up very quickly. You can just go like this, choose your section. I think probably this is the one I picked, and then just fill it out. Very simple. All right, so that is the blog template. All right, which is this right here. So you want to build this and then go in and edit this. And then I'll just show you what it looks like here. So if I pick one of my blogs, actually, that's not a good choice. Let's see here. Let me go to pages. We'll say Blog Master. I'll view it. And then when I click on these, you can see that it matches what I originally put in. Okay. So it's dependent on what you're writing here. This will always be identical. This will be identical. This will be identical. And then this will be identical. What changes is your image here, your headline, and that's about it. So I can go back here to blog, look at another one, same kind of thing. This is the same image, and then here. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Blogs are really nice, really easy. There's a couple of features I've requested. Hopefully they'll come out with those. But yeah, go ahead and set your blog up and you should be off and running. All right. See you in the next Doplac lesson.